Good afternoon, my students and listeners at home. My name is Iwueze Tochukwu from Department of Basic Science of St. Charles College, Onitsha. The topic I have for you today in this online teaching is friction. Specific objectives. By the end of the lesson, you students will be able to define friction, list types of friction and explain them. State the advantages and disadvantages of friction. List ways of reducing friction. Let us go into the lesson proper. Meaning of friction. Friction is the force that opposes motion when two surfaces are in contact with one another. Friction is the force that opposes motion when two surfaces are in contact with one another. Now you can see the picture on the screen. The blue balls and the green balls. You can see the red arrow where the force is coming from, pushing the blue balls. You can see the direction of the movement of the balls, that's the motion with the black arrow. Now look at another red arrow in between the blue balls and the green balls. That is the point where friction is acting. Types of friction. We have only two types of friction. One, static or limiting friction. 2. Dynamic or kinetic friction. Now, static or limiting friction is the maximum force that must be overcome before a body can start to move over another. Now, you can see in diagram A, where you have a body that is not moving. So, this body that is not moving is having a static friction between the ground and its surface. So for the body to move, you have to apply a force. So when you apply such an external force, you like push. When you start pushing it and the body starts to move, by that time, you have been able to overcome the static friction. Dynamic or kinetic friction is the force that must be overcome so that a body can move with uniform speed over another. Now you can see in diagram B where you see a man pushing a bus. So this bus is moving and the man is applying a force on it. Now, a force is required for the body to continue to be in a steady motion. So when the body is in a steady motion, the dynamic friction is being overcome. Uses or advantages of friction. A. Friction enables us to walk. That you are able to walk as a result of friction. There exists friction between your foot and the ground. That is the reason why you can walk on the ground without falling. B. Friction enables motor car to move on the road without slipping. Friction enables motor car to move on the road without slipping. Yes, it is friction that helps motor car to move on the road because there exists friction between the tire and the road. That is why the motor car can move on the road without sliding away. C. Friction enables brake to stop the car when applied. For instance, when you are riding bicycle and you apply a brake, the shoe pad of the brake will go and hold the wheel or the tire so that the bicycle will stop. If there is no friction between the tire and the shoe pad, the bicycle will not stop. D. Friction enables nail or screw to stay tight in a hole after being screwed, thus holding pieces of wood together. So there is friction between nail and the wood. That is the reason why the nail can hold pieces of wood together. E. Friction is used in grindstone to sharpen knives and chisels. Yes, there is friction between knife and grindstone. That is the reason why the grindstone can sharpen the knife. Even though when you are using iron file to sharpen the knife, you see that when you look very well on the file, you experience ridges on the file. Those ridges on the file is to enhance friction. So if there is no ridges on that file, the file cannot be able to sharpen the knife. F. Friction enables us to hold objects, to write, and do other functions. If there is no friction between your palms and your biro, you can't be able to hold the biro to write. For instance, if you carry an oil and rub on your hand, on your palm, you see that you cannot use that palm at that time to hold biro to write, because there will be a lesser friction which will not allow you to hold the biro to write. G. Friction enables fan belt in machine to turn the wheel without slipping. So when you look at all these machines that used to grind corn, like people use in making of akam or agidi, all these machines. So that is fan belt that help in rotation of body parts of the machine. So if there is no friction, the fan belt will not be able to rotate the machine. Disadvantages of friction. A. Friction causes wear and tear of component parts of machine. A part of machine that is moving over another always wear out. For instance, when you are using your iron file to sharpen the knife, you see that as you go on to use the file to sharpen the knife, the surface of the file will continue to wear away. Gradually, the surface will finally wash out. That is wearing and tearing. B. Friction causes heating of engine. When you see a moving part of a machine that is moving over another, that is rubbing over, even though when you are rubbing your two palms together like this, as you continue to rub it vigorously, you see that at a certain time, the palms become hot. That is as a result of friction. Friction causes loss of energy in the machine. Friction causes loss of energy in machine. Ways of reducing friction. A. Use of lubricants like oil. Use of lubricants like oil. So whenever the friction is causing you a lot of harm, you can reduce it by applying an oil on that surface. Like whenever a two iron is moving over another, maybe you experience that it is causing a lot of restriction, or it is wearing and tearing. You can apply oil on those two surfaces in order to reduce friction so that the wearing and tearing can stop. B. The use of ball and roller bearing. This ball and roller bearing is normally used in a point where you have where two bodies are moving over another. Use ball and bearing body to prevent it from rubbing over another. C. Streamlining of body shapes. You experience this streamlining of body shape, like for instance, in an aeroplane that used to move on space. You see that the face of an aeroplane is normally pointed. You see it pointed. The essence of making the face of a repellent to look pointed so that the air, while moving in motion, air will not push it, will not oppose it much, will not affect it much. So that is the reason why you see the face of an aeroplane pointed. Even though you see bullet, when you look bullet, you see that bullet is normally pointed. The face of a bullet is normally pointed so that it can be able to penetrate into space. So I do not have a lot of opposition between its body and the wings. Because if you allow the face to be broad, you see that friction can hinder it not to move, not to go extent you want it to be. If you want to experience that, just carry a tray or a broad board. Just place it on your front and make use of it to run. You see that breeze will be opposing your motion. It will not allow you to move. So in order to prevent that from happening, you make the body of a moving object to be pointed so that as the point surface will make it to penetrate into the air or into the wind without having much setback from the wind. Summary. Remember, at the beginning of this lesson, we define friction as the force that opposes motion when two surfaces are in contact with one another. Types of friction: we have static friction or limiting friction, dynamic or kinetic friction. Advantages of friction: we mentioned friction help in walking, in climbing, application of brake, movement of cars, etc. Disadvantages of friction: we have wear and tear, you have loss of energy in engine and heating of engine. Ways of reducing friction: we say by application of lubrication, by streamlining, by use of ball and roller bearing. Now, my students, we have come to the end of the lesson. I believe that you enjoyed the lesson. I want to use these few questions to check your understanding on the topic that you have learned. A. Define friction. B. Mention two types of friction. C. List any two advantages of friction. Now, my students, do the assignments and submit through my email address. My email address is tochiiwueze@gmail.com. See you some other time. May God bless you.